Hey everybody, welcome to my brand new series that I'm starting where I predict every NFL team's record for the 2019 season. Now, before I begin, I know this isn't the best setup, the best layout, probably not even best audio, but this is something I've been wanting to do for quite a while. So, let's just go right ahead and get into it. Now, I'm going to be starting with the Carolina Panthers. This is actually my favorite team. I'm going to be trying not to have it be too biased. I'm going to try to have it as, realistic as possible. Now, I have paid a lot closer attention to them than any other team, but I'm gonna try to keep it as realistic as I can. I do see quite a bit of potential for them. So, if you disagree with any of my predictions, feel free to leave that in the comments. And without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. Now, the Carolina Panthers are going to be kicking off the season week 1 against the Los Angeles Rams at home. Now, this is going to be kind of a hard prediction for me here because the Rams were really tough last year. They were a top 3 team. They did really good. But with Todd Gurley's knee and everything, I don't see them being able to run a whole lot on us, especially after the defensive upgrades that we have made. I'm admittedly more worried about their passing game, but I think our pass rush has improved enough that we don't really need to worry about that a whole lot. I do see this being kind of a high-scoring game, admittedly, but I do actually have the Panthers winning this. It'll be a close game, but I see them winning it. So I'm going to give them a W. Now, versus the Bucks. Now, yeah, this is a divisional game. They can always go whatever way, and there's always one game during the year that we play shitty against the Bucks. So this one's also, pretty hard to predict. But usually when we play them at home, we own the Bucks. I'm going to give them that a W. Now, the Cardinals, people think because of Kyler Murray, they're going to be quite a bit better. I've even seen some predictions saying that they're going to beat the Panthers. I do not see that. I stand by what I thought last year when I thought that the Cardinals are one of, if not the worst team in the NFL. And with Patrick Peterson out for the first 6 weeks, I think that's a dub. Now, the Texans. The Texans they're a tough team. Especially if they can, keep a good contract with Jadeveon Clowney, with, J.J. Watt and everything. That's a tough defense. That's going to be a hard defense to play against. In my opinion, they have the best wide receiver in the league. Yes, I would say he's better than Julio Jones. Typically our secondary's done pretty well against big name receivers. Like, they shut down Mike Evans last year, shut down Michael Thomas, kept Julio Jones, pretty low. And DeAndre Hopkins, he's different. He's hard to predict. I think this will be a close game, but I'm actually gonna give an L. Yeah, I think the Texans are gonna be the one to pull it off. Now, hop back next week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, this is also a hard one to predict. This one, I think, is pretty dependent on Nick Foles. Nick Foles has proven to be able to do a lot. He's proven to be a damn good quarterback. But there's also been times where he's proven to not be all that great. Plus, I don't really see the Jags having that great of receivers. I think if Nick Foles plays well and their defense plays well, I think they can pull off the win. But I see them losing. I think there's some good matchups. I think it'll be DJ Moore against Jalen Ramsey, probably Curtis Samuel against AJ Boye. Curtis Samuel, I see him being kind of a dark horse for that game. I don't think anybody's going to really expect him to, go off for, 150 yards. But I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. I think he's going to be one of the biggest reasons we win the game. So I'm going to go ahead and give us the W on that one. I think it'll be a close game, but I think we'll get the W. Now, this one, I think I picture it as an away game for both us and the Bucks. I don't really picture them, really winning that. And usually I don't predict the Bucks to lose both games against us, but where, we're not playing in Tampa Bay at all this year, I kind of have a feeling we're going to win that one. It'll be tough, but I think we got it. Week 7, that's obviously a bye. I don't know why that came up, but whatever. We'll leave that there. Then we have San Francisco 49ers. I know they were one of the worst teams this last year, but they have made intense additions to their defense. Especially playing in San Francisco, and if Jimmy Garoppolo can perform well, that's going to be a tough game. They've got Tevin Coleman, which I'm glad the Falcons don't anymore. He usually played pretty well against us. But they've got Tevin Coleman now. They've got Matt Breida still. They've got some talent on that roster. That one, oh, man. I don't even know what to predict for that one. I think I'm going to give us the L, but I think that will also be a close game. Now, let's jump to the Tennessee Titans. Now, I'm just going to come out and say it. I think the Titans have been kind of overhyped because of Derrick Henry, who I think is pretty damn overrated. He was horrible last year until week, was it 11 or 12 when he busted out that 200 rushing yard game? So I don't really know what to say for that, but I think the Titans are pretty overrated. They have a solid defense. They've got a good defense, but I don't think they're going to be able to score worth shit on our defense. Their offense is just not good. So I'm going to go ahead and give us the W on that. So far I have us starting out 6-2. Okay. Now, this is one that I don't understand. So many people have been saying that the Packers are going to jump back and be so much better this year and, win that division, going to go like 10-6, 11-5, do super great. I see him being maybe 8-8, maybe 9-7. I don't see him being that great. They didn't have all that many injuries last year, at least not that I'm aware of. Aaron Rodgers, he didn't throw very many picks. He only threw 2 picks, but he really wasn't all that impressive for him, in my opinion, this last year. He is starting to get up there in age. I also think Devontae Adams is pretty overrated, if you ask me. Aaron Jones, their running back, he could be a dark horse for that game. He could be pretty damn good for them. But contrary to what everybody else says, I see us winning that game. Now the Falcons, this is a tough one. They're also a hard team to predict because a lot of people are both thinking they're trash and a lot of people are thinking that they're, very, very underrated. Now, I could see how people think they're underrated. This last year I don't think was an accurate year for how talented they are. Matt Ryan is an elite quarterback. Julio Jones is probably the second best wide receiver in the league. If Devontae Freeman stays healthy through the year, he'll be pretty damn good. They've got a fairly decent secondary, but other than offense and that secondary, they've got some holes. They've got Deion Jones. That'll be a good matchup with Christian McCaffrey. I feel like we usually do pretty dang good again at stopping Julio Jones. Usually, not always. There's been some games where he's broken off for 200 receiving yards on us and made us look like amateurs. But I feel like we're gonna win this home one. I think we'll lose 1 to the Falcons, but the one a few weeks later, I think they're gonna win. Now, in New Orleans, I feel like we do a pretty damn good job at playing against the Saints. Last year, in the first game where it did matter for the Saints, they only beat us by a field goal. It was a very, very close game. And they lost Mark Ingram. And then later on, when arguably it didn't matter as much, we completely destroyed the Saints. I'm not gonna predict that we do amazing against them. I don't expect us to sweep them or anything. In fact, this first game, I predict us to lose it. It's hard to play New Orleans. Not a lot of teams can do it. They're a tough team. Yeah, I don't see us winning it. Now, versus the Redskins, there's been some people sleeping on them, If they play Dwayne Haskins a lot more and, he can stay healthy, and they just improve everything overall, I think that could be a pretty solid team. I think it's going to be a really, really close game. I really do. For this one, I think we can pull off a win. It'll be a tough game, but I think we can do it. Now this one, I've already covered it. We don't play well in Atlanta. That's an L. Okay. That's an L. The Seahawks. The Seahawks have basically become another divisional rival for us. You know, they're always, one of the bigger games of the year for us. It's always on and off each year. Russell Wilson just got that big contract. I don't know what to think about it. They have DK Metcalf, which he was probably overhyped to a point, but who knows, he could actually be really good for him. But I see us winning that one. So the Colts. Oh man, the Colts are tough. Colts are a tough game. They've got an elite offensive line. They have a really good quarterback who could arguably be a future MVP. Could lead him to a Super Bowl in the next few years. They've got a solid defense. T.Y. Hilton is, I don't know if I'd say top 10 receiver, but, I'd say top 15 receiver. They just added Devin Funchess, who I think he'll do well with them. I don't think he'll be amazing, but I think he'll do all right with them. I don't think they made any other huge additions, but I don't see us winning that game. So I'm gonna give us the L. Now, last game of the season. I see this being a game for us and the Saints to decide the divisional winner. I see us and the Saints having roughly about the same record. I think this is going to be the game to decide the divisional winner. It's in Carolina. We usually play really well in Carolina. I'm not going to say I'm not worried about it. The Saints are a tough team, but I see us winning that game. I do. So that leaves my overall prediction. Let's see, that is 11-5. I see us barely winning the division. I don't think it's going to be, I'm not going to be one of those fans that predicts us to go 14-2 or, be amazing. But we made a lot of additions in the offseason. I could definitely see the Carolina Panthers being really good in 2019. And I'm really not trying to be biased with that, but it's what I think. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Leave a like. Feel free to share this video. If there was anything you agreed with or disagreed with in this video, feel free to leave your opinion in the comments. But without further ado, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Later.